Hello again, Howard Baxton here. In this video we're going to look at instructions 5 in our series of class instructions. And this is about creating couples seats or note cards, as you will. And it says here, let us make some couples note cards and see how this is done. So in this build we have 4 seats to pick from to make a couple, or 2 couples even. I'll choose seats 1 and 2 for a couple, and once that is done, use seats 3 and 4 for another couple. Next we will consider if we want couple 1 changing the poses for couple 2 and vice versa. My suggestion is that we can leave each couple to their own piece and ensure that other couples cannot change our pose selection. And then it says, to quote the wiki about Exanim, we see the following statement. nPose will run every Exanim line in the note card, but does not mean the number of Exanim lines needs to equal 1 for every seat. This means we can change poses for some, but not necessarily all sitters in any one card. And here's the link for Exanim line if we want to go and look and see exactly what Exanim line does. Let me grab this guy, and we're in line permissions within the nPose. We can get to Exanim lines in one of 2 ways. We can go through the quick reference and go look for Exanim, or we can go to note card contents, which has things broken down a little bit. We see both Exanim and seat init here, and then props and events and such. There's all the buttons, or all the commands are there still that you saw in a quick syntax reference. It's just another way to get to them. And we see Exanim 9 works exactly like a Schmo E line would in previous versions of nPose. And then what I quoted up top is exactly this, or what I quoted in the instructions cards is exactly what you see there. Just a little bit more about Schmo E and Exanim. These fellers, these commands do not have the ability to create a seat. And that's exactly why we need to use the seat init. And you can read on down about I think I might have missed something here. No, maybe I didn't. You can read all about Exanim lines with lots of links, but then you get down here to seat init, and seat init it's a required command. We have to use this command entirely to create our seats. It's the only way we can create seats. This has to be done once. So we typically do that in our .init card because it only runs once, and that's all we need to run it is once. Typically the init card does not have a button to run it, and it's the first note card that nPose runs after a script reset. So we use it once and away we go. And it talks about that, the best place for it. And if you really wanted to change the number of sitters somewhere else, you could put sit init in another note card, and it would recreate seats for us and the number of seats that we require. It's not really needed, it's not really necessary. So at any rate, that's where we're at there. So Back to our instructions card, we will take advantage of what we just learned about and pick 2 seats and use them to set up the couples. And what I suggested above was we use seats 1 and 2. So along with the instructions, it says make a note card in your inventory and name it. Set couples, CPLS, sit 1, and then afterwards we're going to put some permissions in there. These are a button permission, and basically what we're saying is we only want seat 1 and seat 2 to be able to see this. So the permissions are a Boolean, and it says either seat 1 or seat 2, which in effect does the same thing. Seat 1 can see it, or seat 2 can see it as well. One or the other, but not necessarily both. One or the other, or both, basically, but not necessarily both. So let me copy this. Come over here to my working folder, create a new note card, and paste that name in there. Now we've got it. Add the following line to the newly created card in your inventory. And it says add the following lines. So we're going to do this. Let's copy it. And it says save and close and add this card to the couch. So let's edit this, paste them in, save and close, add it to the couch. Now step 1 is done. Let's go to step 2. It says make another note card in your inventory and name it set CPLS couples sit 2. And in our permissions brackets, we have 1 till 2 exactly the same. So our sitters in seat 1 and 2 will also see this note card. Let's add a new note card and paste the name in there and add the following lines just like above. So let's add these, and then once we've put them in that note card, we can save and close and add it to the line, add it to the build. So let's paste those lines in there, save and close, and add this card in. Now it's set. Okay, and after we do that, we've just created 2 postcards for the first couple. It says test them out and see that everything functions as expected. Seat 3 and 4 should be unaffected by the 2 postcards for the couple. Anyone seated in 3 and 4, seats 3 and 4, should not see the couples buttons for couple 1, or the first couple. So let's go ahead and touch this guy. Let's just go to utilities and admin and res the adjuster so we can see what's going on. Now if we go back, everybody's actually using the default note card, default note card, default note card, default note card. Everybody's running meditation animation. So if we go back and click our couples button, we don't see anything here. Another quick note, we had to put in an up button in there, and what nPose does is it adds 3 buttons, or a row of buttons, every time it needs one. In other words, these buttons were not created because of what we did, and it was created because we needed this up button. So they won't do anything. If we click them, they don't do anything. They're just dead buttons waiting to be filled. Okay, now the reason we don't see our couples sit 1 and couples sit 2 is because of the permissions we put in here. They're saying if you're not in seat 1 or seat 2, you're not going to see it. And right now I'm standing, I'm not seated, so that's why I don't see them. So if I go back up And if I sit down here, then I click, I'm in seat 1, so I see the buttons. And I can click the button and we play. That's what we put in for sit 1, and here's what we put in for sit 2. Oh, look at here, he's turned the wrong way. He should be looking at that other person. So let me put in left here and we'll call that animation. There we go. See, he's all good to go. All right, now let's go make sure the other part of this holds true as well. Let's change seats and let me go to 3. Now when I go back, couples, you see, I see the same thing as I saw when I was standing. Since I'm not in either seat 1 or seat 2, I cannot see that menu button. Just make sure seat 2 can. So we'll go over here to seat 2, and he's running the couples animation, and I just switched right into it, which is the way we want to do. And in couples, and I can see the buttons. Okay, so everything holds true. What do I got here? Oh, all right. With that all tested, and I think I'm happy with it. Now for the other couple. Step 3, make a note card and name it set couples sit 3, and use our same button permissions but different numbers. So this one states 3 or 4 can see the menu button. So if we create a new note card, paste the name in, same rule applies. We want to add these animations or these exam lines and then save and close when we're done and then add it to the card. So let me copy these, put them in, and save. Now add it to the build. Oh, did I do the wrong one in there? I think I did. Sit 3 was supposed to contain these. Let me copy these. Yeah, they were wrong. Okay. So I probably should do it here too. And then step 4 says create sit 4 note card. So let's copy this, create a new note card, paste that in there, and then go grab these 2. And once we're done, save and close and add it to the couch. Now, you know what? I think this is probably going to be the exact same way. I don't want to be listening left with seat 4. That would put me facing the wrong way. So let's change this to right and see what happens. So that means we'll use this note card rather than that one, or this animation rather, instead of that one. Okay, now let's go ahead and add this card in. And it said we just created 2 postcards for the second couple. Let's test it out and make sure everything's okay. So if I go out of this and go back into couples, I only see the sit 1 and sit 2, which is the ones we created for sitters 1 and 2. Okay. So let me go up here and go to utilities and change seats. Let's go to 4 this time just because we need to pick on him. And if we go back and look at couples, we only see sit 3 and sit 4. We don't see sitter 1's animations. And I can pick this one That's sit 4. We can go to sit 3. Everything looks fine. So that should put an end to this note card. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.